First of all, I need to wait to see if anybody gets in here so that I can see if this is actually going to look like anything or if anybody can even hear me. Because I'm not where I normally am. So I'm going to give it a second so that I can try to ask a question real quick if somebody comments. Which might take a second because this is like the third time I've tried to do this. So we'll see what happens here. I'm going to share this and we'll see what happens. So if you are watching right now, I appreciate it. If you're watching after, good evening. We do have a few things we can go over. Nick, can you see that? Does this look okay? Does this look okay? And can you hear me? I guess those are the two questions. Does it look okay and can you hear me? Because I don't know what kind of setting it put it in. I don't know. All good. Oh, awesome. Awesome. I'm just glad to be able to do this. We got everything situated, and I told Julie I'd come down here and try, and there's not many people in the lobby area, so you know, we'll see how it goes. And the connection's good enough. To where I think we can make do with this. So I'm definitely excited to at least go over this. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. At least, 45 minutes, I'm assuming. But we do have a lot to talk about. So, all right. So good evening, everyone. We didn't do our live yesterday, but I wanted to do something tonight. I'll do the intro real quick, and then I'm going to talk about, and I want to focus on XRP, obviously, because we're coming up to a resistance area right now, which is our first of two that we really need to push through. Remarkable pullback to the top side here. At least we were on top of this morning in the update, in the short, and then when we talked yesterday, we, especially this morning, it looked like it was getting ready to reverse. And I know it was dropping hard, but like, for me personally, I took advantage of the moment, and I bought more ZIL because of where it's at. ZIL's just at a crazy spot. It's so low right now, and a lot of people are up and down on crypto, but as a whole, you got opportunity here possibly. I don't know, it could cost us a bunch of money. And then I bought more IOTX and more MXC because I think they're just getting, IOTX is just getting hammered, and it's near it was well below it. Earlier this morning, I had this big wick down, and I'm like, Jesus Lord, I'm taking advantage of this. Have you ever compared the chart for Bitcoin when BlackRock ETF was acknowledged to XRPs? I mean, not really, because I don't think the true justification can be on XRPs because it's compounding a factor right now. We got to wait for the final say in the lawsuit, and even though we know it doesn't change the security status no matter what, for the outside looking in, it's going to play some variables. So not all institutions are any smarter than most retail. You got to remember that. Unless they're part of the bigger picture, most institutions are just as stupid as, let's say Michael Saylor, except they have the firepower, let's say. But George, thank you so much for the $1.99 donation. I really appreciate that. And also being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. Awesome. But let me do the intro, and then we'll get into this for, a little bit here. So good evening. 8:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Not at home, but in the hotel for now until the kitchen gets renovated, and it's only day 2 of the renovation, so it could take like 3 weeks. So it's gonna be interesting. I'll be here all week until Friday, and then I'll be at my dad's house. I don't know about sunny days because I'm gonna get through this the best I can. And we'll see how long I can actually do this. But we'll see. I do sunny days a lot, to be honest. I actually do. I still am very transparent with sunny days. The last time I did it was not yesterday, the day before. I believe it was the end of the live. But I do like to do it, especially when people are feeling down. Right now, though, I think it's quite the opposite. I know fear's still rampant, but I like this. I like how when we came down, we held this area, and 225 never technically gave way. There was a small wick, but even in the smaller time frames, just a small wick, nothing major. And even in the 2 hourly here, you could see it started off to the bottom. But what I noticed here, and this is why I thought it was a good time to come on if I could, and I really tried, like literally, I've tried my best to be on today for the live. So, and it's just the area it's in. I always try to have impeccable timing, and we had this recross of the golden cross here, which is your validation of a short-term pattern flip. This did not break there, but it still can from similar area, but it's going to be from over here now. But more likely, I like to look at it from here. We need to get above that $2.60 in real time. Let's see. I think it's about 262. 261.1. So we need to get over that 261. That's for real. If we don't get over 261, this can be another gut punch. But we do have this inverse head and shoulders. We have this inverse right shoulder. We have that nice, beautiful neckline formed on this little downward channel. And all of this, to me, was always a good signal because we identified here, little channel started support, broke through to create what looks like a head, came right back up, support. Then we had resistance. Never even came through, but resistance. So if you look at this, I really thought there was a nice channel. Then we talked about the possibility of this inverse right shoulder forming. Well, we didn't know here when it was pulling up because it never even came back through the channel. But we decided that if it did come up, this would be the neckline here. Because that's how we started this measurement. We didn't look at it as a channel at first, if you remember. Because we were watching it a different way. In that symmetrical triangle inside of a broadening wedge, because it is a rising, well, not a rising broadening wedge, but it is a broadening wedge here, and we've already identified that, and that's the overall pattern on this consolidation. So, am I gonna watch Trump? Did you see the wick at 9? What time is Trump on? Everybody keeps saying Trump. Oh, speaking at 9. Oh, what impeccable timing. We could possibly watch them together to see how the market reacts. Does everybody want to watch Trump with me to see what the heck he's going to say with these tariffs and see what the market does? I'm going to say we might have to. All right, so I got a TV right here. See, I got the remote. And this is actually a really nice spot right here. It's like quiet. Nobody really comes in here. So I'm just kind of making it my own. I don't know. I'm not bashful. But I do have some, my weapon on me just in case. Can't let everybody hear that, but, hey, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. So it's always by me. Oh, I'm not saying you shouldn't be sick of Trump. I'm saying we need to hear what he says because it's going to directly impact us in crypto. So take your emotions out of it because take Trump out of it. Just we need to look at it from a standpoint of economics. See, that's where we get it twisted a little bit. If we don't like Trump or we don't like Biden or we don't like the Democrats or we don't like the Republicans, we end up losing our economic feel. Like this is all about economics. I don't care about the political side of it. I want to know with the tariffs because the truth be told, when there's a tariff put on, I mean, we should care only because the stuff that's going to be imported or exported to us, we have to pay extra. If there's a 20% import or tax, if he announces a 25% tariff, let me just put it this way. The best way of educating is so we're not stupid, right? If he puts a 20% tariff, our stuff goes up 20% in our stores. It has nothing to do with their citizens. It never has. So then when the other government is like, oh, that son of a bitch, Trump, I'm going to give them a 20% tariff now. Now they instill the tariff on their own people. That's what you need to understand. That's why the governments, they play the people against themselves. But if you understand, you don't have to sound or feel like an idiot. Because most people are like, oh, yeah, Trump. But then and then the other country like Canada, like, oh, no, we need to put it. And you hear the citizens. Their citizens are calling to put tariffs on the USA. It's like, what are you idiots talking about? You already got what you wanted. We put tariffs on you, so you're not paying extra. We are. But if you put tariffs on us, now you guys have to pay extra. Why would you want to join in on the fun? Voluntarily throwing our money away because we don't know what the hell's really going on. So I don't want to throw my money away, but I still want to be in the loop to know exactly how they're going to steal my money next. because that's what happens. You know, and it pisses me off. So $2.48 from this perspective. If you look at it from this breakout of this, because this is the first area, we need to break out of this. This is technically like a symmetrical triangle inside of a broadening wedge. So, you know, just be smart, everybody. I subtly talk about the dynamics of the world in every live or every update. You'll hear me just strategically talk about it. That's my strategic talking point. Don't fall for the tariffs and think, oh, they're putting a 20% tariff on another country. They're putting it on us, folks. That's another way to put a tax on their people without us knowing, because we don't get taught it. But I digress. You know what you know, and you don't what you don't. So maybe that opens somebody's eyes, and maybe they'll dig a little bit deeper, and maybe somebody's going to unfollow and leave. You know, that's just the way it works. Let's see. So, I mean, we'll wait for him to talk and see what's going to happen. Trump to speak amidst drastic government changes. So we'll see what he says. But definitely the market is reacting, and to me, it's acting in a positive right now. We are at a critical resistance, very critical resistance. So that's just something to pay attention to. So this is the first area I would look at. Get out of the symmetrical triangle area. We are still in this rising broadening wedge that's all the way up at like almost 390. But you can't just look at it. You kind of have to micro look at this a little bit. Once you break past that point, you can't just say, oh, that's the big area. 260 is obviously big, but for different reasons. But I actually like it better in this perspective right here. No, right here. Because this is that channel. Oh, I guess it's the same spot, but 261 is the more accurate number. 260 is just that line in the sand, but isn't it funny how it forms like this? You know, it's funny how it forms like this. So I'm watching the TV to see if he comes on. Let me see if, just for the heck of it, let me see if I can find it here, and then we can listen to it together. But I don't know if they're going to let me, because sometimes they won't let you watch all this. Like, it's weird. But because it's all the national, because it's all of the, when he, okay, so it's going to be on here. So when he starts, yeah, here we go, the Associated Press. So when he starts, just let me know. Well, actually, I have it on my TV over here. Well, this TV. I guess I'm calling it my own. Oh, there we go. How's that? What do you think that? What do you think about that? We could just keep it like that. Oh, absolutely, Nick. If it does, I know the exact W you were talking about. What the hell? Why am I way down there? Well, we'll put that back up after, because I'm not gonna be able to see everything here. I'm stuck. I think we're stuck over here. I don't know what happened. I guess you guys have to be down there. I don't know what's happening. But you guys are in the comments. That's so weird. That's so weird. Whatever. I'll just pull that screen back up. But I guess you guys are in the comments. Oops. Yeah, that's fine. As long as you guys can still see, I'm okay with it. You guys just, it's going to be harder for me to see everything, but that's fine. You guys, I mean, I'm over there. You just got to deal with it. It's so funny. It's never got, in 4 years of doing this, I've never been stuck in that spot. Well, we need to watch the gold market, because if the gold market starts pumping, there could be something up. One more question. Can you still hear me? Like, even though all my stuff is weird now, I'm not sure what happened, but can you still hear me? Okay. What'd they say? Go to C-SPAN? Okay, somebody said go to C-SPAN. Oh, wait a minute. That's their videos. Oops.
Mr. Speaker, the President's Cabinet.
Okay, no offense to these fine people. I don't need to listen to them. So we'll make sure that we're watching and and then when it becomes relevant. When it becomes, I'm just watching over. When it comes, I don't know. That seems a little suspicious. Yeah, just get my weapon on me. All right, we're all good, just in case. You never know. Let's see. We'll see if we pump out of here. We'll see if we get out of here. Oh. So, let's see. 261 is a big area, but we still have to get past. We got one area here still. We still got to get past here. No, that's not it. We got to get past here. 248. So, we're trying to get past it actively. It's like 249. We've got to hold that spot. Once we hold that, we've got this golden cross, and this is speaking to something bigger here. And I think it's secretly back tested like a little inversion here. Big W reversal, back tested the neckline of it. But we could even say kind of might have formed some kind of weird inverse head and shoulders, a little small one. But it's definitely a big reversal. That's a big W reversal. The whole market seemed to have started doing it today as well. And this is the inverse pattern I'm thinking that we could possibly be forming here as well. So kind of came down here. Now, if it does build up and then back test, that's going to be another inverse. So it's starting to create smaller patterns of itself. So I would assume this would be like a 262 tap, back down, back out if it's going to happen. So that's what I'm looking at. That is what I'm looking at, and I think that's fair. I think that's fair. If I'm being honest, I think that's a fair assessment. And we're starting to move up pretty nice here. I know that's I very quickly in this morning's update talked about that bearish FVG that's kind of in a weird spot because it's almost like it's going to invalidate itself because of the pressure that could build up there. If it surges just a little bit past it, there's going to be a nice surge of volume, or at least potential buyers. ZIL, I still think ZIL is undervalued. I think it's undervalued, and in the weekly, I think it has a defined W reversal. It's consolidating out as typical, and if it doesn't break out of here, I mean, it's going to find itself in a spot it hasn't been in a very long time. I mean, it's been towards that 1 cent before, but it hasn't been there, consistently for a very long time. And it would be interesting to see if it comes back down there. But in the weekly, it's definitely building something here. It feels like it is, like it's bottoming out here finally. But we'll see, because that's a little flag that came off of this little reversal. We need to get over here. And then if you see us on top of here, that's where I really think we get back into this pattern. And then it's like, all right, we had overzealous pull down, comes back up, and then powers through these layers. I think eventually this is going to power through. Oh, what the hell chart is this? See, that doesn't do it any validation. I keep forgetting that chart's on there. Once and for all, we're doing this together. I'm sick of not giving ZIL its validation. Because I don't think you can look at it and be like, oh, this run's going to happen without having this bigger look. I know I was going to say, I know I have another chart. This is ridiculous that I always have that one out there. But it's like, when you know you have something, it's like, why am I using this other? Why is this one always on here? But I know I have something else set up from before. And this is the one I always talk about. This is the chart that I've been watching for a very long time. This goes all the way back to December of 22 when the support hit. Resistance hit the first time back in August of 22. So this is literally when it came out of the bear market. So when you talk about bear market consolidation, ZIL is still in it. It's very much in it. So, you know, I'm waiting for something to, and watch this. This site can start to materialize this just a little bit. See this? We're going to materialize this into something that can happen. Or something we should pay attention to at least. We don't even need to go that far. I think something like that. Then we got to see what makes sense, right? So if we're starting there, what makes sense? Instead of dragging it all the way out. Like, look. Instead of dragging it like this and being like, oh, this is so bearish. What if it actually... And you can look at it both ways, but what if it's actually trying to show us this? And this is what I've been telling myself for a while. I'm like, what if it is telling us this? That means every time it's underneath that support, you buy it. Every time it comes below this, that's a buy zone, if that's the case. And you can see in the beginning, it created this inverse head and shoulders. I want to show this as an example. See how when this broke out, it never came back to it since 2020. So when it made this breakout, well, you notice how it came back and tested it? They always come down, no matter how high they go. And now it created this big-ass pattern. And I can show you the pattern. Like, it's pretty easy, the wider pattern. It's almost like when XRP was inside of that very long consolidation. Something like that. No, it's higher, though, because it came through... It only depends if you want to give it credit or not, but it definitely came through something like this. So that's the break point. If it were to break down, yeah, that's where, in theory, you could come down. That's the worst case scenario. That would be like XRP coming back down when we used to talk about it coming to 4 cents when it was at 35. That's where we're at right now with ZIL. But that looks like a descending... I don't know. I don't want to get too much, I don't want to get too bullish here, but like, or too excited about this pattern, but unless this is for real and it doesn't have any kind of firepower left, but I find it hard to believe. But if not, I mean, if it goes all the way to 002, I mean, it could be, we'll see. I think there could, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it'll go back farther than where it was on that last daily candle when it came down to 118. Or maybe it'll come farther than that 113. We still have a long ways to go with ZIL. But I do see a W reverse when I see that weekly as it telling us that, hey, pay attention here. Something could be starting here. And when ZIL does it does it quick. Like, notice how when it had this happen on the 5th, it went all the way up to here. Like, it doesn't wait. And then if it wants to dump, it's like DGB. They just dump. But that went 179%, you know, when it was ready. Now it came all the way back down and it consolidated. Unfortunately, when you don't fill these gaps on the way up, this never came back down to here, and it sure as shit came back down after all these months. But it's been filling out a pattern like this for several years, so I'm glad I showed you this rendition of it. Man, can they just get to our talks for fuck's sake? By the time they start talking, I'm already going to be gone. Oh, I have Matic Poly. I bought it because it dumped so much. Where the hell is my Poly? I don't remember which one we were covering this chart on. Definitely not that one. I got one other one I want to look at, but I'm going to keep this on here. They're... See, here's the reason why I have hope for this, because they created the digital ID. So... that's basically your conversion for when you want to buy crypto and that you have to get chipped and, you know, you guys get it. They're the ones who created it, so at least it was like the digital ID. It was a few years ago. They patented it and everything, so it's going to be a bitch. It really is going to be a bitch in the future for us, I hate to say, but, you know, we're just going to have to make the best of it while we can. It's not going to be pretty. Oh, yeah, what the hell am I doing? I don't want the POL chart. Even though it's POL now, you still want to look at the Matic chart because it's the one that goes farther back. The POL, when they flipped it, I think they do that on purpose so you can't actually see the charts. Like, I really do. Because look how much better of a chart you get here if you look at the whole chart. But no, you gotta look at that piece of crap chart. If you look at that, it's lower. That's what I'm saying. Some of these are lower than the friggin' bear market of 22. It's insanity. Unless they're taking this out back to shoot it, you know. Maybe they're taking old Yeller out finally and saying, you know, it's just you're overhyped. You're shit. I hate to I dare not believe this one has the framework too to be really successful with the ISO. That's the crazy thing. This one actually, I don't know. I might have to look deeper into picking up more of this if it falls under 20 cents. I'm not even, I have 10,000 tokens right now, but I'm just saying. If it comes all the way back down, I mean, I might have to seriously consider maybe buying some more here. Oh, a lot of them do. A lot of them do. Maddox was a little off the scale of just crypto though. We're talking about in everyday life, like to be able to use certain things. They were the forefront of that technology, and they hold the patents to some of it. So I've never forgotten that. I watched it back in 21. I wish I remembered where it was at. I'm so jealous of what you hold, Tom, and yes, I know. Oh, well, jealousy, you know, can sometimes take us back. But I can tell you, Nick, you can be in the same spot. You just have to run the cycles, honestly. I honestly can't even believe. Sometimes it's like a dream. Like I need to pinch myself. That's a nice. I like Nick. Don't you like this consolidation though? Even if it were to come back down here, don't you like this consolidation? Even if it comes back to 16 cents. Look how low it came though. That's the only reason that I even expanded more. I mean, it keeps giving you these. I think I was at like 7,000 or 8,000. It wants to keep giving us these opportunities at the bottom of these patterns. I'm not gonna turn it down. I've learned. And then if it falls through, you just have your capital for later on. But this is so beaten down right now. It's pretty insane. I mean, I almost can't believe it. Pretty insane. That's some pretty special stuff. That's where dreams are made of. Let's see DGB before I forget. 812. God, it wants to. DGB so badly wants to break out, but it keeps getting knocked down by fundamentals that it has no control over. Like it's continuously getting beaten down because of market conditions, and there's not much you can do in that scenario. I'm gonna delete some of these so it's not so noisy. Just keep it in the short term, and then where it actually can go up to. But I mean, that's a long-term descending. That's like a descending wedge that it broke out of, and that was a long time coming. Back tested it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Bought about 100,000 more DGB as well to get it up to like 1.45 million. I don't know. I'm starting to like. It's just it hasn't broke out. There's high risk, high reward with these. These are what I would consider like your micro ones, only because they're so cheap that it's gonna a small sway down or up could really affect your portfolio. So you got to kind of find it in the levels you want. And for the record, when I sold DGB, it was at like 16 cents almost. So to get it down at the 0.4, 0.04, 0.06, 0.08, I mean, it's pretty crazy. Let's see. All right, let's listen. give you a standing ovation for you just getting out of here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States,
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here.
members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
Oh, thank you, JW, for letting me know. Let me know it was loud and clear. Appreciate that.
6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
Why is this one behind? This one's behind for some reason. Why does that look so... Oh, I was going to say it looks like hell.
I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The
Prices are going up a little bit here.
Unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. Never been anything like it. The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes. We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Oh, here we go. Guys, real quick, I think they're starting a war, like a real big worldwide war, and it's not like a pow war. It's a worldwide trade war, but it's going to turn into something. But I'm going to type on my phone so I don't have to stop this.
In our country, 2,700 to 525. On a map that reads almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever. Likewise, Small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
This is not normal decorum. It is not. We're getting a dog and pony show here. Market's going to be responding interestingly if this goes on any longer.
Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber. Members are directed
UB2B sub, welcome in, my friend.
Decorum in the House. Mr. President, continue.
Thank you. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record, to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it. In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many.
All right, let's get to the fucking point.
And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it.
If he keeps talking, he's going to drop the
Taking
market.
the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and border patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal
I can't
border
make that
crossings
decision for you,
last
but I
month
like
were by
Zillow.
far the lowest ever.
I own
recorded
both,
ever.
FYI.
They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy, or to make them stand, or smile, or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here.
No, I didn't take advantage
It's
of the
very
pools.
sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
Thank you, everyone. Just trying to see how the market reacts with all of you, because this, when I...
So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again. Every day my administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid. I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization. And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council.
Literally, there's one of two things that are about to happen. It's either we took the stairs up, or took the elevator up and take the stairs down.
Importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our oil workers and companies from economic destruction.
It's a big fake out. We went up. We're consolidating in this wide channel. We'll bounce up, back test, creating some kind of weird inversion, maybe even come down farther. Get up and out.
I have directed that for
it's either that, literally, it's either that, or we did this, and we're going to take the stairs down. I prefer the up route rather than the stairs.
In that first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job. Weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good. Not too good.
See, but this isn't getting anything done. Like, this is just wasting my time. Like, let's get to the fucking point.
And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
I don't know. I disagree. Go on TikTok. I can't even comment to somebody who's mean to me without getting a strike. You should see it. It's hilarious. Real free speech there.
Making English the official language of the United States of America.
That's also not true because when I go call somebody, the first thing they ask me is Espanol now, or when I go to a checkout, it's always Espanol is the first
I
thing.
renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And likewise, I renamed for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again.
I like William McKinley.
Beautiful Alaska. I love Alaska. We've ended the
I mean, he had
journey
his
of
bad
so-called
moments, but-
diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer. We believe that whether you are a doctor,
We just might.
an accountant,
You
a
be, we
lawyer,
just
or
might.
an air traffic controller,
I'm telling you though, the way
you
this
should
is
be
going, we need him to
hired
say
and
something
promoted based
spicier. This is
on
just gonna come right
skill
back
and
down.
Confidence, not race or gender. Very important.
We need spicy, not malarkey. We need him to come out and say, damn it, they're stealing the money from Fort Knox and we need XRP and that crypto reserve to, you know, save us. If he says that, you know, and then we're
Very
good.
powerful decision has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race
I think I
theory
already
from
fell
our
asleep.
public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Oh, this isn't what they're gonna. If he starts talking like this, no one's gonna want to hear this in the market. But it looks like something is setting up, so we'll see.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
Trump just needs to say, I had a great dinner with Brad. We love the
3
tech.
years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports.
That's,
But when her
to be honest with you, the only reason I'm
match
watching
was
this is to see if he
invaded
says
by a
no
male,
taxes on crypto.
He smashed the
He
ball
won't, but,
so
you know.
hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side, and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it.
Gold should like
Peyton is
this.
here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
Isn't this funny? Like, in a sense that if somebody breaks these rules, they cut off all federal funding to the kids. So what does that say? So what all the other kids, I don't understand. All I ever think about in these moments is they're laughing behind
If
us
you
saying
really
we're ripping
want
our
to
own
see
people off and they're
numbers,
too
just
stupid
take
to
a
see
look
it.
at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer.
I didn't say no. All right, before you start talking for me, I didn't say anything about the girl on the boys' team. I said, so what, a girl on a boys' team, so now they're going to take away all federal funding from the other kids because somebody broke the rules and they don't. That's what I'm saying. You're not reading between the issue. Of course, there shouldn't be a boy. Do you know who I am? Have you ever heard me talk? Like, stop with that bullshit.
What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen. Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again. Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control. The egg price is out of control. And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job. A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now.
The dollar's actually on a little bit of a downward trajectory here. Look at that.
And frankly,
We'll see if it bounces back here.
Like
that's a big,
that's why on my first
that's
day
big
office,
resistance up there. And now another one is formed here at 106.
Emergency.
Wow.
As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill. My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA. To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy,
The video is live.
but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars.
I gotta go in a minute, so I might not even get to the end of this because my son, I gotta go back upstairs.
Government efficiency. Doge. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps. Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight. Thank you, Elon. You're working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion.
All right, guys, I hate to go, but I have to go because I got to get back upstairs. Hopefully, we'll see how this pans out, and we'll talk about this tomorrow. But I have to go. Not because I want to, but because I got to go. My kids got school in the morning. I got to go take care of dad business. So, you know, hey, let me move this. It is what it is. I'm glad I was able to hang out with some of you.